Hi there, I'm Vincent Boss and I provide dating and self-improvement advice. And in today's podcast, we're going to be discussing rebound relationship, key traits. I provide audio coaching to help people try and get their ex back or get a new girlfriend or boyfriend. Check out my website for more details. www.dateme.tips. Please check your spam and junk folders if you are expecting an email from me. So now let's get back into today's podcast, and today we are discussing rebound relationship, key traits. So if you've gone through a breakup, you might have heard people discussing rebound relationships. But what are they? And how might they affect you and or your ex? In today's podcast, I'm going to discuss 3 key traits of a rebound relationship. So let's get straight into this. And number 1 is they start soon after a breakup. So the first key trait, the first red flag that you might be entering a rebound relationship is if this new relationship has started soon after a previous relationship ended. Now, how long are we speaking about? How long after a breakup would a rebound relationship start? So let's look at this in a generalized sense. We can't be specific. We can't say precisely how many days it would be. But I would generally say that if a new relationship starts within a matter of months of a previous relationship ending, then there is an increased chance that this is a rebound relationship. So certainly if it's after days or weeks, but also after months, if it's within a matter of months, then this is a red flag that this might be a rebound relationship. Now, rebound relationships are generally things that we speak of regarding dumpers, but dumpees can also get into rebounds. Generally speaking, though, most dumpees are so shocked about a breakup taking place, and lots of dumpees want to try to get their ex back. So when you look at it in this respect, lots of dumpees, most dumpees, would probably not be jumping into new connections straight away like this. However, when we look at the dumper situation, when we look about how dumpers behave after breakups, there is an increased possibility that they may jump into a new connection, and hence that is why we say that most of the time rebound relationships are connected with dumpers more than dumpees, although it is not always the case. So whatever perspective you are coming from, it's important to understand why this is a red flag. Why is this an important trait of a rebound relationship? Well, if you consider that your previous relationship recently ended, you would not be in the correct headspace to be processing the end of one relationship and the beginning of another. Whether you are a dumper or a dumpee, you would likely be in a mindset where you are still thinking about your ex. It's very natural, very understandable. You was in a relationship with somebody else. You was romantic with somebody else, quite possibly for many, many years. This has now ended, and now you're jumping into a connection with somebody new. This is not the ideal position to get into a new connection, to get into a new relationship, because this doesn't allow yourself to go into the new relationship with a stable mindset. Even if you're the dumper, you will be unlikely to be thinking clearly after a recent breakup, because you will be thinking and remembering about your past. You will be thinking and remembering about your ex, and hence if you're a dumper or a dumpee, you will be going into a new relationship with a lot of thought connecting to your past connection. A lot of thought going back to your ex, how you used to live your life, what you used to do from day to day. Everything would be judged, everything would be compared, whether this is deliberately, whether this is subconsciously. You will be comparing and contrasting, and this is not the best position to get into a new relationship. This is why, if you get into a relationship soon after a breakup, it is a red flag of it becoming a rebound relationship. So now let's get into point number 2 and the second point of today's podcast about rebound relationship key traits And point number 2 is they accelerate at tremendous speed. So the second red flag of a rebound relationship is that they move very, very fast. They go from 0 to 60 at an extremely fast speed. So let's look at an example of how this could play out. Let's imagine that you and your ex, when you got together, you connected slowly over time, you got into a relationship, and then after maybe 9 months, maybe a year, whatever the situation may be, you decided to go on holiday together, you went on vacation together. But now you are in a new connection soon after your breakup, and you decide to go on a holiday with your new partner after a month. So after only 1 month of being together with somebody new, you decide to go on a vacation with your new partner. This is an example of accelerating at tremendous speed. When you compare how you was living your life in previous relationships, and then you see that things are going much, much quicker, this is an example of a rebound relationship. It's a red flag of what you often see. Other examples could be things such as moving in together. Maybe you decided to move in with your ex after a year, maybe it was 18 months, maybe it was 2 years. But you and your new partner are now moving in together after only 2 months. Again, this shows tremendous speed. This shows the acceleration which can take place during a rebound relationship. An even more extreme example would be if 2 people get engaged, if they get married after a very short period of time of knowing each other. Once again, this is a red flag of a rebound relationship. But why does tremendous speed showcase itself as a rebound relationship trait? Well, we have to understand that whatever the position you are coming into this, whether you are the dumper or whether you are the dumpee, even if you are the dumper, you would not have hated every single thing about your previous relationship. So maybe you decided to end your relationship, maybe you are the dumper, but this doesn't mean you disliked everything about your ex. This doesn't mean you disliked everything about your previous relationship. And therefore you will miss moments of that relationship. And people who get into rebounds are desperate to get back some of the things which they are missing. So often this is closeness, just the general feeling of being together, whether this is going on holiday together, whether this is living together, or whether, as I said, it's actually getting married. Maybe you are in a position where you ended your relationship because you felt that you could not move forward any further with this connection. Maybe you had grown apart. But this doesn't mean that you are feeling happy being alone. This doesn't mean that you are happy being single. If anything, you are missing the intimacy of being with somebody, just the feeling of giving somebody a hug at night, just the feeling of knowing somebody else is in your house. You might not want to live alone, for instance. This is a classic example of why rebound relationships go so fast. It's because somebody who has ended a relationship, or occasionally a dumpee, really wants to grab hold of the things that they have lost, the things that they have missed, but they want to put them on somebody new, somebody who they have not got to know very well at this stage. And more of this will be spoke about in point number 3. But as we concentrate on point number 2 and the acceleration at tremendous speed, tremendous pace, we see a situation where somebody has got out of a relationship. Maybe they was the dumper, maybe they was the dumpee. They're no longer in one connection and they are now alone. They are a singleton and they crave certain things about their previous relationship. They want them back, even if they don't want them with that previous partner. And hence, when they connect with somebody new, they instantly want to get to that stage. They want to catch up to that moment. Now, the problem is that you might have been with your previous partner for 6 years. You know, this has taken a lot of time to build up, and yet you are craving those feelings of comfort, stability, maybe some of that attention that you gave one another. You know, you are looking at this from a different perspective. You are missing the things that a long-term relationship grew to give you, but you want it instantly right now with somebody else. And this is where the problems can arise, because you are trying to put on these traits to somebody that you don't really know. You're thinking, I want these things, but not with my ex. Okay, you seem nice. Let's put them on you. Let's see how this connects. Let's see how this works. And that is why a red flag of rebound relationships is they move so fast. So now let's get into point number 3 and the final point of today's podcast about rebound relationship key traits. And point number 3 is they end suddenly. So you only really know for certain if you have been in a rebound relationship if this final key trait shows itself. And that is that the relationship ends suddenly, and it ends in reality fairly quickly. Most rebound relationships will only last a few months. In my opinion, a rebound relationship can't last longer than 11 months because I believe that if a relationship ticks over past a year, this is when we have to understand that the relationship, even if it had rebound traits, has now developed on a stronger, firmer foundation, and we have to give that relationship the respect that it deserves. But most rebound relationships will end very quickly, after a number of weeks or months, certainly no longer than a year. And this is because the two people involved don't really know each other. When we was discussing point number 2 and the tremendous speed that the relationship goes at, it does show that there could be a number of milestones which take place during a rebound relationship, but at completely unreasonable times. Moving in together too soon, getting engaged too soon, and so forth. All of the other possibilities are things which could go too quickly. The problem is with a rebound relationship is that two people have a relationship first and get to know each other during the relationship instead of the other way around, which is generally much more successful, which is you get to know each other first and then decide if you want to grow this into a romantic relationship. So let me just go over that again. Instead of getting to know each other first and then having a relationship, you're actually having the relationship instantly and getting to know each other on the job, you might say. And this is where the problems arise. It is very rare that we connect with somebody in a romantic way. That is why we have so few long-term relationships. We're very unlikely to find long-term relationships easily. Most people will go from one long-term relationship to another, but with a large gap in between, possibly where they're dating new people, but they will often find they are not compatible. There is often a year, 2 years or more in between successful long-term relationships. It's just not that easy to find people you're long-term compatible with. So what is the odds that you would find somebody within a matter of weeks or months that you can live with for the rest of your life? The odds are, the chances are very, very small. It's very unlikely that you would find the next love of your life, the next compatible person so soon after your breakup. It's just not likely, and it is very, very unlikely to be the case for you or your ex, that they meet somebody after a few weeks or months, that they will live together forever. And unfortunately for the people involved, this is why rebound relationships end suddenly and quickly in the scheme of things, less than a year. They end suddenly because eventually both people start to get to know each other. Both people in the rebound start to get to know each other better and better and understand that they're not compatible. They understand that they might be compatible on a very basic level, maybe through physical attraction, maybe through a few common interests, but ultimately they are not compatible in a long-term relationship. And hence, when they understand they are not compatible, this is why a rebound relationship explodes and ends as suddenly as it started. This is why we only truly know if we are in a rebound relationship once it has ended. Now look, if you're worried that you or your ex might be in a rebound relationship, I would say to you, don't get hung up on dating labels. Although these dating labels can be useful to consider what may or may not take place, we have to understand that nothing can be guaranteed. And even if a relationship isn't a rebound, it doesn't mean it's going to last forever. If your ex gets into a new relationship and you're thinking, is this a rebound? And it goes past a year and you think, well, that means it can't be a rebound. That doesn't mean it's going to last forever. Because relationships end every single day. A relationship could end after 1 year and 1 day. It doesn't matter that it's not a rebound. It doesn't matter what my opinion is. It doesn't matter what your friend's opinion is. It doesn't matter what anybody's opinion is. Relationships end every day. And hence, although it can be useful and interesting to consider whether or not somebody is in a rebound relationship, ultimately, it is not going to dictate your future or your ex's future for definite. Nothing can be guaranteed. Now, if you or your ex or somebody else that you know is showing these types of red flags as we are moving into a new connection, then yes, you can start to consider this might be a rebound relationship. This probably means it won't last many months. But you can't wait around, you can't clock watch, you can't be standing still. You must move forward with your life, making your own new connections, going on dates, living life and having fun. You don't necessarily want to get into anything serious with people straight away. Make sure you get to know people, make sure you date different people. But please don't wait around waiting to see if your ex is going to break up or not. Because even if they do, there is no guarantee that they will want to reconnect with you. There is no 100% guaranteed way to get your ex back, and you must live your life. Please don't wait for your ex, because living life is the key. If you live your life, if you move forward with positivity, then it's win-win. You will either get your ex back or you will find somebody even better. And just because you're living your life, just because you're going on new dates, making new connections, this isn't going to stop your ex reaching out to you if and when they become single again. So don't wait for your ex, live your life, and if you hear from your ex again, then great, you have a decision to make. If you don't, then no worries, you will find somebody even better. If you believe that this podcast has helped you, then please consider buying me a coffee. The link to do so is in the description.
Yeah, if you miss your ex, we can help with that. Help you get him back, or we can help find you someone else. Yeah, Vincent Bo, the relationship coach, giving you some insight, bringing you a new approach. DateMe.tips, go and check the site, giving you advice, helping with your love life. Get your ex back, or move to the next. Ain't no sweat, you know Vincent Bo got you. Finding love ain't no problem. Yeah, DateMe.tips, check it out now.